Yeah, so my name is BEREND from Kraats, and I'm from Oceans X. And yeah, we're here on this beautiful ship of Stolt, and it's actually an integral part of what we're doing. They're taking the samples which the scientists use to actually understand our atmosphere better above the Northern Atlantic.
Can you just talk about I guess the teamwork really, because you know the science is important, but there's plenty more cogs in the wheel.
Well, yeah, for me it's pretty funny. You know, you've seen the interviews of Maarten, you've seen the interviews of Edo, you've seen the interaction with the seafarers out there. Yeah, how not can you get motivated by so much ambition and so much positivity? And I just make sure that they request each other for help. So Maarten came to me to ask him, hey, could you help me with sampling over the Atlantic? And you've got a big maritime network. I said, well, sounds good, and if I can help you, why not? So I went to Edo, who I met in a whole different setting, and asked him actually for the same, if he could help me. And he asked the captains if he could help him. And so, yeah, well, you know, if you just ask people for help, they actually really want to help. And that's something which, from my past, you know, I was always an officer in the Royal Navy, sailed on submarines always, but actually that crew potential, if they were talking to each other, if they were honest to each other, and they were genuinely interested in what was keeping the other busy, that's when magic happens. And I think that's also a way to a roadmap out of our complex problems. So it's a roadmap out of climate change, but also out of healthcare problems. Yeah, we need to do it together. We need to step forward, take that responsibility in that area of responsibility where everybody has something to take and something to do. And everybody brings their own game to the pitch.
Can you talk about, it's kind of repeating what you said in a way, but just in a more concise sound bite, that you know, with discussions around climate, there's been a lot of us and them. You know, there's the good guys and the bad guys, and basically it's time for us to just pull together and look at solutions rather.
Yeah, so the good part about what we just said, you know, if you just ask people for help, then there's no good and wrong. Yeah, you just want to help somebody. So we never talk about a problem, because if you start talking about a problem, all these solutions come by. But if you just talk about, hey, I'm doing on something and really inspired in doing that, then you could actually help somebody else with his intrinsic motivation. And that's something which is happening in innovation and in acceleration of getting to new solutions. It's also happening in climate change that if we focus too much on the problem, then everybody comes up, oh, we need to solve that problem. And there are like so many ideas that we're actually competing each other with good ideas. So we need to reorganize the way we actually bring that into momentum. And all solutions need to be challenged. All solutions, well, they will be challenged themselves, but all solutions need a chance to actually flourish. And well, starting with that, that's what Oceans X is doing with the persons, with the people.
Okay. Just again, following up on that theme, that
it's not more concise. Huh?
No, that's good. That's great. Okay. But the issue really has been about what we shouldn't do. It's been about reduction, reducing outputs and cutting down methane. Obviously, that has to happen. But this particular project is about what we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so there's a difference with restoration as opposed to reduction. It's a new player on the playing field in a way, and I think that is a
three-legged the cooking pot, because you know there's African three-legged pots.
Well, that's interesting what you just said. So talking about restoration, it's a movement. If you're talking about reduction, it's a limit. And that's something very interesting. So we as Oceans X, we're using different terminology to actually facilitate people to start believing in their own movement again. And once they start making baby steps, then they see that they have a lot of friends around them who actually also want to contribute. And then we are in this this growing, scalable, sustainable movement in which it could lead to things that actually don't work, and then we're all fine with that and actually disregarding that, and then we carry on. That's a mission. You can't plan a mission knowing what's going to happen every day. So you need to generate a way of talking to each other, a way of telling a story in which people get inspired, and talking about reductions, talking about fears, talking about that we have a big problem on our hands, and we need to act now. Yeah, well, that makes people run away from that line, and that's they run away, but then they stop running again. And that is, I guess, what I see as a role that Ocean 6 is taking in this part, to actually make it so compelling that everybody can actually get a chance to contribute. And with this little practical thing, sampling on board of ships, we now set up the biggest sampling campaign on the North Atlantic which ever occurred. That's pretty cool.
Just on a personal level, where do you think we're at the moment? Where do you think we're going? What are your thoughts?
Well, if I look at my friends I'm working with Ado, with Martin, with all the other good people from the universities, I'm looking at people who are really intrinsically motivated to do the good stuff and bring their best game. And I think that is a trend. And we're a lot of these great people are getting more and more space from their organizations to actually endeavor on that journey and participate in these sampling campaigns like we just set up. I think that is a trend, and I think that is a good place to be, that we generate more space for people to actually contribute with what they think is important.